Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today, I am really excited to take a look at a dagger knife with you guys. No, not a dagger, not a knife that's dagger, but a knife from the brand Daggerr. This is the Daggerr Sting. So, yeah, pretty excited about this knife actually. Really excited, in fact. So, let's get into the blade measurements and everything. We have a blade length of 3.9 inches, so definitely definitely a knife that's on the longer side. Let's break out our size comparisons and see that demonstrated even further. Here's our Rat 1, although these two are not very far off in overall length, interestingly enough. And there's our Rat 2. Cool. Next, we'll grab our Civivis. There's the Elementum. There's the Praxis. Line those up pivot to pivot. All right. Matthew McConaughey. All right. Alrighty. I say all right a lot, guys. Are you all right with that? Okay. Flagship comparisons. There is the Benchmade Bug Out. And here is the Spyderco PM2. We will come back to this comparison here in just a little bit. I think you can see why. Cool. Last, and certainly least, here we have the Gerber couple, the large and mini paraframes. All right, cool. So what are we looking at here as far as materials go? Well, we have a D2 blade with a very interesting flat grind. Really interesting grind. That's really cool. G10 handles, G10 backspacer. This is a steel liner lock. Thumbhole opener, running on bearings, with a steel clip. That clip is one of a kind. The clip is one of a kind. So before we go on and do all of our cutting and everything, I've seen people saying, "Oh my gosh, it's a PM2 knockoff." Well, no, it might be inspired by the PM2, but there's a lot of things that make this very different. For one, it's on bearings. For two, they are not ripping off the Spidey hole because they have like this skull hole thing, which is cool. This knife also is very ergonomically different than the PM2. In fact, if you look at the handles, they're not really that similar at all. So, no, this is not a PM2 knockoff. So, yeah. Daggerr Knives, by the way, is a new brand out of Russia. And they seem to be focusing on mostly tactical knives, which I don't mind. You know what? There's a place in this community for tactical knives as much as there is for EDC knives and hard-use knives and anything else. So, yeah. By the way, perfectly centered. And the action is very nice on those bearings. But let's go and get into some usage. All right, let's do it, shall we? Daggerr Knives Sting. We've got some cardboard here. Actually, real quick, I haven't done this yet. So we are going to take a behind the edge thickness measurement because I forgot to do it before I did the review. I usually do that before I do the review, but forgot this time. Zero you out. Okay. I'm getting 14 thousandths. This should be a very good slicer, guys. And in my experience with it, I haven't carried this guy too much yet before doing this review, but I have used him a little bit. And yeah, he's a good slicer. So let's go ahead and bam, get into it. Black shirt was there we go. There's the knife. See it now? Got to skyline it. All right, so let's slice some cardboard. Everything I've used this knife for up till now has mostly been just opening packages. I cut open some blister packs, mostly using that, pointy tip. Guys, this is a slicing beast. Let me tell you. Oh my gosh. Guys. That's really good. Oh gosh. Just going through it like butter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is one of those knives that I never want to stop cutting with. Oh goodness. Beautiful cutting performance, and I do like the way this grind is shaped. Maybe I'm just imagining this, but I think that grind adds a lot to your slices. So, yeah, that's really nice. Okay, all right, so let's talk a little bit about the action. Ball bearings. You have this skull hole. How does it work? Thumb flick, zero wrist. Works amazingly. Middle finger flick. Boom. Let's do it more over here. And look at that drop. Yeah, that is nice. How does it carry? Well, very uniquely. We'll talk about the clip more, but it works great in and out of the pocket. It works really well. So, yeah. How are the ergos? The ergos are so nice. They are very nice. This thumb ramp here is awesome. And the way this handle is shaped, this is awesome. Awesome in the hand. Very good. Don't even feel the clip that much, especially for a deep carry clip. Really impressed. We'll talk more about everything back at the table, which we should get to right now. Let's do it. All right. Daggerr knives sting. What am I liking? What am I not liking so much? Let's get into what I'm liking, because there's a lot. So first thing I want to talk about is this knife just performs so good. I love this blade. This is an aggressive flat grind, because honestly, they do not have a whole lot of room to come down to the edge through here. Yet they make it's so thin. Part of that is because the blade stock is pretty thin, but man, so slicey. Love this grind line. It looks cool and it functions pretty well. It really does. So, at least I couldn't tell you exactly how it improves your cutting, but I kind of feel like it does. So, yeah, I like that a lot. It's very useful blade. I like this blade a whole lot. Next thing, the action. Oh, the action. It is so good. This knife kicks. This is so nice. Oh, man. And this little hole here works for the middle finger flick and the thumb flick equally well. The bearings are nice. The drop is good. Just awesome. Awesome. Next thing, the ergos are nice. Right here, this area here is really nice to me. So it slopes up pretty aggressively, but the jimping, as you can see, it's kind of that very small file-like jimping. Grabs your thumb really good. Your thumb rests there. It's very comfortable. The top of the blade here is like knocked down, so it's not sharp or anything. So you have this, I don't know, that transition from this to that, I just really like. I like a lot. So, yeah, very good ergos. The materials are fine. I'm okay with D2, G10, steel lino lock. Cool. Yeah. As far as internal milling goes, it is milled out quite extensively, and the knife is pretty light as a result. So yeah, that's cool. The pocket clip is reversible. That's awesome. Love that. Oh, I guess with ergos, I could have also said, the knife goes from thinner to fatter here, which works really well. There's plenty left over if you have bigger hands than me. Just a very nice shape. Pocket clip does not bug me. Just so nice. It has a backspacer. I like backspacers. Let's talk about that pocket clip. This pocket clip's going to be polarizing. They call it their Screaming Skull clip. I kind of like it. I mean, this is not really my style at all, but look how it has those blue screws in there for the eyes. That just looks cool. And, I love that this clip, it's a deep carry clip that works good. This clip functions really well. Even though the screws are not flat, the clip is recessed, and it does work really well. It's got good spring to it, and it works good as a clip. The thing that I find interesting about it is it's a deep carry clip. Deep carry is supposed to be kind of discreet and innocuous and whatever. This, literally, Screaming Skull, this clip screams for attention, and it's deep carry. I don't know, just the irony of that. I don't know, I like it. Some people probably won't, but I do. I like this clip a lot. The build quality on this knife is very nice. The branding on the blade is minimal. Yeah. The texturing on the G10 is nice and grippy, but not super aggressive, which is excellent. Yeah, this knife was done really, really well. So let's go into the negatives. The first negative is kind of the price on this knife is about $63. I think that's a little too high. I would have much rather seen this knife at like $55 to $58. Not a big deal though. $63 is not a bad price. It's just a skosh high in my opinion. Next thing, this here is more of a oversized sharpening choil than a finger choil. I can choke up into it. It's a little bit scary, but I can choke up into it if I'm doing finer tasks, small jobs, things like that. But if you have big sausage fingers, that you can't choke up in there. So that is something that's going to be a little bit disappointing. Next thing, the lanyard hole, I think is a little bit big, a little bit obnoxious maybe. Yeah, I do wish they'd done the lanyard differently, but, whatever. The fitting of the backspacer is not quite perfect. You can see it's, kind of uneven. There's a little bit of, I can catch the lanyard with my thumb there, but not on this side, and same here. Whatever, not a big deal. And that's all the complaints I have with this knife. In fact, something I forgot to mention as a good thing is that you can get to the liner really well. I forgot to mention that. You can get to the liner very good, and there's multiple versions of this knife available, multiple different colorways and stuff. Yeah. So final opinions. This is a cool knife, and here's the thing that I love so much about this knife. I feel that right now we're kind of reaching a point in, especially the budget knife world, where everything's trying to be an Elementum. And the Elementum's great. I like the Elementum. But, we're seeing a lot of these, D2 liner locks with G10, maybe 14C28N, or, there's the blade seals are starting to get a little bit more varied. Nitro V. But the designs are getting a lot more derivative. Very much, I think people have really, really nailed what makes a good EDC. The Benchmade Elementum. The Civivi Elementum is a very simple, classy knife. Nice slicey blade, good ergos, good legal, friendly size. So I feel like a lot of companies are really leaning into that with knives they make. And I've heard Metal Complex and different people talk about this, and I 100% agree. What I love about this knife is that it just completely is unique. And, I mean, you're like, oh, it's a PM2 ripoff. No, it's not. It's not a PM2 ripoff. This is very much its own thing. And remember, the PM2 is designed as a fighting knife, and this was designed, I think, to be kind of a self-defense knife too. So of course there's going to be a little bit of overlap in design. But this knife is just so out there. I mean, those glowing blue eyes and this Screaming Skull clip, just, this skull hole cutout. The knife itself looks pretty ugly or weird. I mean, I kind of think it looks good. Some people might think it looks ugly, but yeah, it's a good performer. It's very EDCable. It's light and thin. but it stands out from the crowd. And I respect that, and I love that. And I can give this knife a 100% recommendation. And there will be more Daggerr knives on this channel, I can guarantee that. And that's all I have for today, folks. If you like this video, leave it a like, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one.